everyone, it's Friday and I'm Virginia Killmore and welcome to my studio. I thought today in this cold and rainy week that we've had that it would be nice to have a tropical card. So we're going to make it super fast. Let's get started. Isn't this a pretty card? I love all the sparkly colors in it and sort of the printer-like look to this. And it's a really easy card to do. We're going to make it relatively quick. So let's get started. Okay. So what do we need? We need all the supplies that are here. So we're going to have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, no, a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of Whisper White cardstock, but I actually have an 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and mine is scored at 4 1/4. If we did that, it would flip up, which would be nice. It's a different way to flip the card, and we're going to go ahead and put on our Seaside Spray cardstock right on the card front and set that aside to lay and get dried while we work on the rest of the card. I always like to use my bone folder not only to crisp up the edge, but just to make sure that that glue really adheres nicely. So we'll set that over there. So to make this, I used a background stamp called Dry Brush. And I set it up in this kind of an unusual way. I want to center this right on here so that it lays on there and I get good coverage. I don't care if I don't get perfect coverage. I do care that I get it centered because I want it to look like a print. So what I'm going to do is use my stamp pad as my color agent, and also to create that rectangle on there. So what I have to do is line this up relatively straight. And I'm not going to move it. I'm just going to press it down really good to make sure that that ink covers that. And I'm only going to do it once. This is either feast or famine here. We're either going to get a great card or it's not going to be perfect. And I can see that I went a little bit lower than I should have. So when I go to put this on, I want to make sure that I'm centering it the best I can. I can always trim my cardstock, but I can't really move the spot. And I can use this to help me press that down, but really the best is to just use good pressure with your hand. Because the rest of the cardstock or the rest of the stamp is dry and there's no residue, I should get a pretty good coverage. Now I can see I didn't get great coverage right there, but that's okay. We'll just make that work. That's where we're going to put our tree. And now we're almost done. One of the things that happens sometimes is you get a little bit of residue here and here, and I kind of like that. Ooh, it looks almost like the moon. I think I like that better that way. So that residue looks a lot like a printer's mark. So I think it's actually beautiful. You might think it's ugly, but not me. I love it. And to do the card, we're using Timeless Tropical. We're just going to use the tree branches, which I should have sitting right out here, but of course right now I can't find them. I found it. I had hidden it. Actually, I hadn't hidden it. I put it away where I could find it, but I couldn't see it. And I want to make sure I get really good coverage of ink on here because we're really going to get one shot at this. I'm trying to decide whether I want to cover up that little spot or leave it alone. Just making sure I got a lot of ink. I think I have my pad that is not as well inked. I'm going to pull out another pad, see if that coverage is a little better. Oh yeah, that's much better. So I'm going to put this away. And we're going to get one shot at this, so it better make it good. Looks like I am going to cover it up a little bit, but that's okay because I have other ways of decorating it. I sort of want it at the base of the image. And then I'm going to apply my thank you. Now I noticed that my thank you was a little crooked there, so I'm going to try to get it a little straighter. But a lot of times the problem is the way that you apply the sentiment on the back of the stamp. It doesn't really go on straight, so that's what causes it to be crooked. A lot of times I'll stamp it once or twice here, and that is a lot better than I did before. So all that's left now is to put my card together and get some bling on it, and I'm done. We need fast cards sometimes. There's nothing wrong with making a card quickly. Now I noticed this one I made a little bit bigger than the original, but I kind of like it. And then I'm going to take some of these Artistry Bloom sequins to decorate my card. I'm just going to put them in spots that I think would make it interesting. I think I put them that one over here just to sort of knock out the fact that I had the thank you crooked. I'm going to get some orange ones. I wonder how the reds would look, but the orange really makes sense. I'm going to put an orange one over here. And one last one right there. Sort of looking like the sun off in the distance. Isn't that pretty? So simple, so quick, so fun to do, and we need it on days like we've had this week to have some cards that remind us of what's to come next spring. I hope you enjoyed this week. I hope to see you next week at 1 o'clock on Monday, and thank you for watching.